Why does a guy who is seriously trim have such a huge smile, and normally the people who are big like me are the ones who have the big smiles? I mean, nobody smiles if you're going to the gym. What's there to smile about? And I mean, a lean person, we always assume they're eating well, they're exercising, that's why they're in that shape. So I was wondering why. Now, I don't know, he will explain. But now that leaves you with that question, why did you come here and what are you going after? Everybody here sounded a lot of business, and they sound like the people we need in Mombasa to grow this city. The question is, are you going to get out of this place with the one thing you came to get?
Let us give him time to tell us about himself, the things he has gone through, the things he values, his passion, how he came around finding it, so that we get something out of here. If you live here and you say you didn't learn anything from stories of significance, the problem will be you. I'm already telling you. Because if we are everyday student of life, even the moment you walked here and you met the environment, you have already learned something. Thank you very much, and let us give it up for our speaker today. As he comes on board, I would like us to give the Obama Club.
My name is Leonard Njeru, and when I saw the poster he sent to me, the first thing I told him is I use Leonard Njeru. So if I give you my business card, it's Leonard Njeru. Muriuki, I think, is a good name. It's given to someone who has come after someone died. So it's like you're giving life to someone. One quote that I find so important and makes sense in my life is someone said, you either run the day or the day runs you. Anyone who has heard that before? You either run the day or the day runs you, because sometimes you wake up and do the usual things. Probably you have plans that you never get to accomplish because there is a lot, either from the environment, people around you, and you forget your goals. So that's something that if you've not heard, you should remember. And of course, success always leaves a trail. So there is no single success story that doesn't have a story to it or a trail. I come from Embu County, a place called Siakago. I grew up in the village, actually. Siakago Primary School. You asked about my smile, and I can tell you I was once punished for it. Yeah, true. I was punished for smiling in class 7 by one teacher, Mrs. Makori. I don't know where she is now, but I never saw her after primary school. So I always remember that. When I see that smile, I remember Mrs. Makori and the slap. Those days we were being, we got what is called corporal punishment. So I went to St. Paul's High School. One thing I can say is I think I was consistent in class. I was biased more towards books. So I did well in school. That I don't know whether it's normally in the genes or it's hard work, but I don't know. But yes, I go to the University of Nairobi, biochemistry class. Those days, biochemistry was, you had a class of like 200 people, so they would pick the first 20, the best 20 in science, and they will do biochemistry. That's what used to happen then. I think nowadays you can choose biochemistry. I always love science. If I go through my, you go through my WhatsApp or any updates, it's mostly science magazines and books because it makes a lot of sense to me. It's more to do with facts. After, actually my story, what I would want to focus on, I don't know what everyone has in mind. I began sometimes, I was actually in third year. I was chair Nairobi University Biochemistry Students Association. I also was a student leader for science students. So one of the things I used to do was to invite speakers to come and give career talks. So when I took over, of course, I would go to industry area, to companies, and speak to people so that they would come and talk to students. So one time, I invited the managing director of a pharmaceutical company. I won't give a name because it's still in existence. And so when he came and I introduced him, actually he could not communicate. Yeah? He was struggling to communicate in English. It actually changed my dream, because then I didn't really have like a career chosen, And I asked myself, why would someone come all the way from India to employ me, and I'm the one to do most of the communication, most of the thinking. I teach him about our market, and I said to myself, once I'm out of this place, I don't know how I'll do it, but this is the direction I'll take. So actually that's how my entrepreneurship began. I got the job of medical representative 3 months before I graduated, which is very rare, because it's something that you actually need to be out of school, because you need to be trained, you need to see doctors, and you can't have like an internship in marketing, sort of, because once you learn and you're good, you just go on. So you either get in it and stay in it, or you don't fit in. So by the time I was doing my exams, I actually had a letter to a posting to Mombasa, and that's how I started. I got to that line. I was a medical representative with a company called Leonard Njeru Limited. It was a good learning point, and we learned, we worked professionally. From there, I joined GSK, GlaxoSmithKline. And well, like I said, when I got into this field, I knew what I was aiming for. So when I came to Mombasa, I met up with a friend who we were in campus together. He was doing dentistry, I was doing biochemistry. And we started talking. I told him what I was thinking. He's also a big business mind. So we started talking, and from then, as I was working, we were looking for ways to get our own company, our own products registered. And basically that's how Pharmaken started. So at a swimming pool in Reef Hotel, we were toying around with names, and Pharmaken came up. That's Pharmaceuticals Kenya, and that's how Pharmaken began. We basically deal in pharmaceutical products, medical equipment. Well, we have a website. I won't go so much into that. It's not easy. It wasn't easy beginning, because the only thing you have as an asset is you, because you have a new company, and basically the rapport you have with the stakeholders is what can determine whether you make it or you don't make it. So really, what I would say is keeping promises, having a good name in the field, working hard, I think are the things that really help, because you can imagine, in fact I would remember when I used to work so late, and my colleagues used to ask me, why would you work so hard, you know? After all, it's not for yourself. And I remember I used to tell them that if I can't work hard for someone, then I will never work hard for myself. And actually it's a fact, because to date I have friends who have their own businesses, and you can see the history of their work ethic carried over from when they were employees to when they are running their businesses, and it doesn't work. Even the car that you are given by your employer, you drive it like it's your own. When you get your own car, it will be the same thing. Some people say, when I get my car, you know, I'll take care of it. But if you mess what you have today because it doesn't belong to you, it will be very hard to change that habit. People talk of working smart and working hard. I don't know whether I worked smart, but what I know is I worked hard, and it worked for me. So I really don't bother whether it was smart or not, but at least hard work has been demonstrated to give results. And that's how you build one day at a time, one customer at a time, one LPO at a time, to get to a situation where you are looking for bigger markets, bigger products, expanding. I am married to one wife. I have 3 children, and of course, I always say it's never easy. In fact, ever wondered why, if you look at the adverts for salespeople, most of them, you know, are for early ages. Do you ever ask yourself why? You know, why you won't see a sales job and someone is looking for someone 45, 40, you know, 35, yeah? Well, it's because there is something called going the extra mile, and you really have to go the extra mile when you are in this profession, even as an entrepreneur. Like the MC said, Saturday is an off unless you are self-employed. And I remember I used to tell people, because among my friends, I think, I was among the first, I was the first actually to jump into the deep end. I was in GlaxoSmithKline, a good salary, good car, dream job for everyone, and one day I just go and resign, you know, and the HR was like, go think about it, you know, because people don't resign here, you know. But I was like sure of what I wanted. So my friends thought that when you are your own boss, you work the way you want, you wake up at the time, you know, you plan. But actually it's the opposite. When you are in the deep end and when you cannot delegate, you know, when you cannot push a decision to someone else, then there is no sleeping. And of course, why I brought this up is it's not easy, you know, with a young family and a young company, because that's where I found myself. My son is as old as my company, so I really never participated much in his early years, but I try to make up now. And that's why I come back to what I said. When you see a sales job advertised, they look for younger people because that's the time you are able to focus. And actually, it's also good for you as a young person because you have all the time to build your networks, you know. When a customer, you have one customer who likes to go to tapas, and that's not a place that you would want to go, but you have to, yeah? Because you hand over to someone else, you'll never have that customer, and you want to grow and build networks, you know? You have someone who likes Arsenal and you like Man U, and when they are praising Arsenal, you have to like play along, you know, because you don't want to tell them that you are an enemy. So that's why I said selling is never easy. When you have an idea, it keeps you awake, and tomorrow you are in a board meeting and you drop it and you're wondering why no one is excited. Then after 2-3 days, you start thinking about it and you realize, yeah, I think I should have thought more about this. And definitely, you need something to keep you going. I remember, I think we all suffer that millennial thing at some point, because when we started, I thought I'll be doing so well so fast, you know. So, of course, our first year we did, I think we did less than 900,000. There is a time I had those numbers, now I forgot. It was shocking to me, you know. I didn't expect that, you know. I thought we'd be doing 5-10 million plus, but that actually took time. And none of us relented. I didn't, because I was actually the man in the field. You know, when you have a marketing-oriented company, and I was the one in marketing, so I was out there, and of course, with a lot of support from my partners, because we would speak every day. And even after disappointments, you need someone to encourage you. And of course, support from family is important, because everyone thinks you are crazy when you are handing over a Porsche car, yeah, and taking an equivalent of a Pro Box, which is an office and a distribution vehicle, and from having a prestigious title, you have the same title, but now you have to be the one delivering, you have to be the one verifying, you know. So it's, people think you are crazy actually. So if you have, for example, if you don't have a supportive partner, that's, it can really be an undoing, because everyone else is seeing the same thing. By the way, everyone else sees the same thing. Rarely do people see what you see. I was not a social media person before 2017. So I got in it because I ran for Governor Embu County, and it's a vision I had, I still have. So of course you have to be in social media, like they say. But when I came back to work, I found myself, when I get to the office at 7:30, I go through Facebook, and then an email, I've put my, I've set my desktop to notify when you get new emails. So of course the emails mostly start coming at 8 when people have gone to the offices. And then I realize I've wasted 1 hour. So that happens. Then I come back from lunch, I'm still there. So I actually made a decision sometime last year that I'll keep it aside. My dream for Embu was basically something that I've believed in for a long time. That we have to be part of change, yeah? And while politics is seen as something, like you are told when you get to politics, it's like something changes. I actually have good friends in high positions who are good people, who do great things. And that's actually just a myth. It's just that they are few. But if we continue having more people coming out, we might get change someday. Maybe in 100 years, 200, but that's how it will start. And that's why I went for that position. I don't know whether I'll do it again. I don't know. the biggest sacrifice for me is comfort. I think right from resigning, you know, I remember I used to hit my target so early that we would have so much of family time and free time, and that just disappeared completely for more than probably 5 years.